Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paul Reid and I'm a professional photographer. I think I might have made it a bit smoky in here. Before we start, I just want to say I am so happy that this Leica Q2 Monochrom is back. Just doing street photography properly in London for the first time since I got this back, and it just felt so natural. And yeah, this is never going anywhere again because it just fits with my work so well. So here's some street portraits that I did and some street photography just the other day. They are almost sold out, these monochrome portraits books, so if you do want a copy, then the link will be in the description for this book. The great news is, if you don't get hold of one of these, I've opened up pre-orders on my new book, which is street photography rather than street portraits, and it's called Monochrome Moments. Now this is a pretty thick book. I'm really proud of this book and I can't wait for this to get into everybody's hands. This is, this is kind of my first proof of the book, but it's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love the printing. I just love the way I've laid it out and everything. A lot of thought's gone into this. And again, this is the point for me. I want this out there in people's hands. Yeah, I want people to be inspired. I do want photographers to be inspired, but not just that. I want it to be in the hands of people that whenever that they look at these images, that they feel something, that they feel good. Street photography is one of the most popular types of photography right now. At least it seems that way whenever you look at Instagram and things like that. It seems to be your feed is absolutely full of street photography. Now, partially that's due to the algorithms. It's always going to push stuff to you that you're interested in and that you have looked at before. But there is no denying that street photography is probably more popular now than it's ever been. But what's the actual point of street photography? There's no monetary value to it. You don't get paid for doing street photography. At least 99% of anybody that's doing street photography is not getting paid to do street photography. The thing is, you don't have to be paid to do everything for there to be a value to it. And there really is a point to street photography whenever the viewer finds value in it. Obviously we as photographers find value in it because we enjoy doing it. It's such an addictive type of photography. When you go out and do street photography, you're not setting anything up. You've got kind of no control over street photography. You just go out with your camera and you're really capturing those moments. Now, I'm not really a documentary street photographer. I'm not a fine art street photographer either. Where kind of I lie with the whole thing is it's character-based street photography. And a lot of my photography is certainly not documentary, because if I was really documenting what it's like on the streets right now, then I'd probably have a lot of photographs of people kind of doubled over looking at their cell phones all the time, because that's what you see on the street mainly. I also probably wouldn't be taking photographs in black and white if I was really wanting to document the streets these days. Whenever you switch to black and white, even that in itself is more of a surreal look at the streets. It's something that's not quite real. Nobody sees in black and white. So even having my images in black and white, it kind of takes away from reality a bit. So it's certainly not what I would call documentary street photography. The stories that I'm telling with my photography, they're really fictional, because I'm picking the people on the streets that have a timeless look to them, that don't look like they are of this time. I'm going to use backgrounds that are actually timeless also, so that it keeps the viewer guessing, was that taken 30 years ago, was it taken yesterday? There's always a clue in my photography that really tells people that it actually is a modern photograph. That might be the fact that there's something in the background that is off now, but that first glance of my photos, what I'm aiming for is this timeless nature. So street portraits, even the subject is getting something out of that exchange. They're getting something out of it. They're going to get the photographs at the end of it. But with candid street photography, then the subjects themselves, they don't benefit at all from you taking the photos. I actually did get an email from somebody asking the question, what is the point of street photography? Why does everybody love it so much? And I didn't really have an answer for them, except for the point is the art itself. For me anyway, it's always been my intention to get a body of work together, something that could be printed and exhibited, also to do books, things like that. I wanted people to really kind of read into my stories. I want them to look at those photographs and take something from it. I want them to feel a certain way whenever they look at the photography. I always wanted my photography, my street portraits, I always wanted them to end up as physical prints. I always wanted them to be printed so people could see what I see. Instagram is just no good for that sort of thing, you know, it's so small. And not only that, once somebody's scrolled past your images on their feed, it's almost unlikely that they're going to go back and actually really look at those photographs the way that you want them to. So I've got to a stage now, thank goodness, after 4 years where I've got that body of work, I've actually, for the first time, started to exhibit some of my photographs in Soho in London. Those Platinum Palladium prints, that's like a dream come true for me, to have those there shown to people in their full glory. Platinum Palladium prints, if you know me, then you know that this is a passion of mine, that I really love that ancient way of printing. Even though those photographs are taken with a modern digital camera, I'm getting those printed in the most ancient of ways, and also those prints last forever. The guy I use is Roberto at RJ Print Lab, if anybody's interested. He actually does have workshops that you can go on, and I went on one of those and it was probably one of the best things that I ever did. So he's got a workshop on the 5th of July. He hasn't actually released that yet, but he was telling me that he's got a workshop on in London, and that teaches you how to do Platinum Palladium print. So I'll put a link in the description. The other thing that I always wanted to do was to release a book or release more than one book. So that's something else that I've only just achieved recently. That was the other point to my street photography and street portraits. The book Monochrome Portraits, that's already out now, and I did a limited edition release of that, 500, and it's almost sold out. Now, I have had such amazing feedback for this book that, you know, like, it just brings such satisfaction. There was a lady who was in hospital and she was going through a bad time, and she emailed me saying how uplifted she felt by looking, you know, at the images in this book. And again, is that not what it's all about bringing joy to others? This is the thing with, I guess, it's almost like entertainment photography. It's art, it's you're entertaining people. You know, there's no real kind of, it's not like I'm documenting a war or anything like that. So that's why sometimes it can feel that there's no point to it. But in the eyes of the viewer, if it means something to them, then yeah, it really does mean something. Your photography is different from my photography, and you know, if you did an exhibition, it would be different from mine. If you did a book, it would be different from mine. And that's the amazing thing about expressing yourself through your art. street photography just comes in all shapes and sizes, and I always find it interesting to look at the good street photography. Obviously there is a lot of rubbish out there as well, and normally that does fill my Instagram feed, but there's a lot of great photographers out there. A lot of you that are watching this channel now are great photographers, and I really believe that if you just keep going with your street photography, that you will get to where you want to go. You will have your exhibition if that's what your goal is. You will have your books. Whatever your goal is, just keep working towards it, because it really does mean something, and it really means stuff to the people that actually view your work. Thanks so much everybody for watching. I really do appreciate the fact that, you know, you're a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed, then obviously subscribe and all that sort of stuff. But I really appreciate the fact that a lot of you have been on this journey right from the beginning with me. You know, it was only really 4 years ago, like I say, that 4 to 5 years ago, that I picked up this Leica Q2 Monochrom, which really changed so much for me. It really, you know, narrowed down my view so that I could concentrate on what I wanted to do. And I'm just thankful for everybody that's been watching this channel in that time. Don't forget, like I say, subscribe if you haven't, like, all that jazz. I'll see you next time.